This is Newsbank Media, and I'm here with
Venus Rose.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia, and that is within the 7 cities. Virginia is on, I would say, the coast. It's one of the biggest, I think, if not the biggest, military naval base in America is where I'm from.
What was it like growing up around like a military base?
I was in the military science program in middle school, which gave me a lot of discipline. Just the culture of the military is very celebrated from where I'm from. Downtown, we have like a lot of military museums and naval ships and stuff like that. So I grew up going to Nauticas almost every year in elementary school. And I just feel like it's a very diverse place due to the fact that it's a military city. So we have people all around the world, that's living and coming and passing through.
What is House of Creators?
House of Creators is a creative agency that I launched on a professional level in 2018. I conceptualized the concept back in 2014. At the time, me and my roommate, we had a lot of plans with what we wanted to do in the creative industry, and we were living together, and we wanted to create a space for creatives. So we kind of spoke it at the same time. We were like, oh, we want our living space to be like a House of Creators, and that's how the name came apart. So the agency specializes in brand development, brand management, brand partnerships, and just overall creative production and content creation. Yeah, it's like a one-stop shop at this stage. I've been solely running it for it's now 7 years. It's a boutique style agency. I'm looking to expand it in the tech Web3 space. So this is where I've created AI Sector. This is where AI Sector comes into play. I know this is the next question. AI Sector is a creative tech hub to bridge the gap between creatives of the arts industry and creatives in technology. So right now we are in the community developing standpoint from a very organic angle, which is consistent content on social media to reach creatives and tech savvy and people interested in technology and just the emergence of AI, artificial intelligence. So we did a launch party April 11th, I believe that was the date, during NFT Week NYC, and that we brought out about 300 people. We had an immersive experience where we created a digital magazine to go with the platform, and we just created an atmosphere to bridge the gap and bring creatives from the arts and the entertainment industry and creatives in technology into one space to meet and greet and network and connect.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I see.
It's at a startup phase right now, but it's going to expand eventually into an application.
You said you conceptualized House of Creators in 2014 and launched in 2018.
Yes, I was in college. Yeah, it really wasn't a 4-year focus. I was focused on getting into the entertainment industry, and I was a music artist at the time. So the House of Creators was just another building a community of creatives, and it turned into a business after college. So it was never a plan. I never planned to produce an agency and run an agency. It's something that just happened. I was just doing things that made me happy, which was, creating music. I had photographers, videographers, and designers and working with and producing content around myself and, just utilizing creatives. And I got the opportunity to work at the Source magazine in college and intern, and all the creatives I built from my personal brand and relationships, I gave them opportunity at the Source whenever I had projects to be published on the Source and to work with the mainstream artists. And it just developed into a system in which I was running productions, which made sense to further create an agency from that. Yeah, and it wasn't even thought that I could do this myself. It was people telling me, like, this is what you are. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was literally just having fun. And I just liked producing photo shoots. And eventually got recognition and social media. I was getting talent at the source and I was shooting them outside of the source. For an example, I did an interview with Famous Dex on the source, and then, I reached out to his team to do a photo shoot of him for fun, all self-funded. And I utilized my relationships with studios and, the production people I worked with, because it all benefited their portfolios, at the time, 2017. And so Famous Dex was at his peak. Doing a content piece with Dex and put it on the internet, Rico Nasty comes across and sees it, and she likes the work so much. She tells Atlantic Records she wants, me and my team to produce her first album cover, and that's how I got into the record label system. Literally just, funding my own projects for fun, and, it became a career.
What did you do with MCM? Yeah. PR.
Yeah, MCM PR agency is a public relations, a boutique public relations agency owned by one of my mentors, and she brings me on to a lot of different projects, PR related projects, and events and stuff that she has, which is also a blessing because I met her at the source, and she has been very helpful with my career and just helping me stay active and helping enhance my skills overall. She, I've done PR before, but I have never done PR on the scale that she's brought me on with type of clients, and that's how I got into doing PR, with her for cannabis brand, GUMBO, and that's how I got to connect with Low Boys and do PR for Moneybag Yo and YTB Fat. We definitely literally built YTB's Fat press from the ground up. Shout out to Francois Blanchette, which is the founder and CEO of MCM PR, my big sister, my mentor.
What is the origin and meaning of your name?
So Venus Rose has been my artist name. I actually came up with it probably around 2013, and one day I was just thinking of something that I identify with. I always loved the name Venus. I looked into the name Venus, and I felt very connected. I felt like it resonated with me. Venus, the goddess of love and life, and then the rose is her sacred flower, the flower of the flower of beauty. Yeah. And I put it together in Venus Rose.
And tell us about the work you've done with Central Cee.
Yeah, Central Cee, I was a part of developing his marketing images for his press when he first signed to Atlantic Records. So what was that? I think like around October 2022. So that's what I did with him. I saw the campaign. I saw the images viral online, the images. So that was a great moment. And it was, that's when I really started to work with more international artists. So it's actually, definitely one of my favorite photo shoots. He is a very intelligent young man. He knows what he wants. He's definitely a respectable person.
You kind of already touched on this, but I want to learn more about it. How did the iconic Rico Nasty self-titled album cover come about?
Yeah, this came about, I actually used to take the megabus from DC to New York, and I would actually see her on the bus, and I always thought to myself, one day I'm going to shoot her. I don't really know how, but yeah, so it all happened eventually. I'll probably say like a couple months after, the Atlantic Records reached out to me. I actually applied to work at Atlantic Records fresh out of college, but when they called me, I'm thinking they called me for an interview, but they were like, oh no, we actually want you to produce Rico Nasty's album cover. So the concept, I creative directed it, and I hired all of the contractors that was a part, the stylist, the videographer, photographer, the studio. I managed the entire project, and I put together the right creatives to execute the vision. As you see, it was a special team because we created a special piece that is still considered one of her best album covers ever. And in the offices of Atlantic, people still remind me to this day, this is her best album cover. I was in one of the executives' offices at one point, and I saw the album cover on the wall, which was very impressive. Like, it was like, wow, my art. But how I conceptualized the whole aesthetic was I I like to dig into the personality of artists, and I broke down her aesthetic into four different moods. That's what I would say. And it was a Harajuku Barbie doll. I saw the influence of Nicki Minaj in her. I saw David Bowie, the rock star. I saw futuristic appeal with her as well. We utilized the space helmet, and just overall just nasty. She has a very unique aesthetic, a unique image, a unique sound. Like, she's a very unique artist, and I just wanted to bring that to life, dig more into her, and so what we accomplished that together. I had an amazing team who really understood my vision. I created the mood board, presented it to Rico and her label, and they just loved it, and it was just on from there. It was really a perfect shoot. Like, it's so crazy for this to be my first major record label project, and it came out perfect. That was alignment. Yeah, she was signed to Atlantic Records actually for 4 years before they dropped the announcement of her, and they dropped the announcement with that album cover that she was signed. Yeah, it was a very big moment. So I didn't realize how much pressure it was to create something so perfect, but it just came out naturally perfect.
Do you think the AI will ever become sentient as does?
Yeah, I do. I think there's potential. I think we, it's so much we don't know right now. So who knows when, how, but I think there's potential. But, anything man-made is, can have error. So hopefully, it's not something that's devastating. But, I wouldn't be shocked.
How is New York?
I think New York is a great space for anyone trying to achieve, a goal in finance, business, tech, or, entertainment. I think it's a melting pot of opportunities. I think New York is just opportunity. That the best way to describe New York is opportunity, because that's all it is opportunity. It's so much opportunity here. It's everything is unreachable. It's like, it's hard to not stay busy in this busy city. And two, it's like, it's so inspiring. Like, just go outside, you'll get some inspo.
What role did you play in Burna Boy's I Told You album release?
Yeah, so I got contacted by Atlantic marketing director over Burna to help create concepts for the album release party, the magazine that launched with the album, along with a music video from a single from the album. And I basically brought on the right creatives to execute the vision. And the album release party, we produced the immersive visuals for the space, the album release party room, which was the wall, ceilings, and floor, and a few screens. So we created the entire, visual aspect, the visual experience. It was an immersive experience. We created just visual ads for the magazine, along with lyric pages. And then we did edit Cheat On Me music video. So so me and my team, we worked together to execute that. That was a big project.
Tell us more about what roles you've worked in and what your favorite ones are.
I would have to, I'm mostly the creative director, project manager. And sometimes I style. If I like the talent, or if it intrigues me, I'll do styling. I've done graphic design. I pretty much have worn every hat, but at this point in my career, I'm more so focused on overseeing, the execution of things. So, but it's over 7 years of projects, because even before the agency, I've been doing this for myself and for for myself first. So I built a brand for myself, and I was able to translate those skills for other people to help them build a brand and identity. I built Venus Rose.
What is your favorite project that you've helped with to date?
It'll probably be Rico Nasty. album cover. That was my favorite because it was the start of my career. It was an exciting opportunity. I was young, a lot younger, and it was just like, you know, manifestation coming to life. Somebody I would watch, that I was a fan of, and seeing her on the bus in Reach, not speaking but crossing paths again, and being able to be a part of her brand. Which also too, you know, because being a business owner is a lot of ups and downs. This is not an easy path at all, but those moments is a reminder to keep going.
What do you think technology will look like in 100 years?
100 years, woo. I have no idea. I don't even want to think that far because what it's doing now is insane. It's hard to grasp and stomach.
Who are your biggest influences in art and in life?
Music-wise, Prince.
Respect.
Art, my mother. Life, my grandfather.
How did you get involved with OTF? Tell us more about that.
Well, I met Lil Durk probably around 2016 when I was at the Source. Yeah, I met him. It was still like early stages of his career. I was looking for talent to interview, and you know, I was very in on this Chicago. I think Chief Keef. I didn't interview Chief Keef yet, but something made me think of Durk. And you know, I reached out to him and his team, and they were all in. So we did some photos and talked about his style, and I just stayed in touch with his manager. You know, from there, because, you know, whenever they would come to New York, they would hit me for some interviews and stuff, and we just stayed connected like that. And the recent album release dinner I did over a year ago for OTF, for the latest project that they dropped, I produced the dinner to celebrate just, you know, OTF and the music entirely, and it was a great turnout.
Tell us how you got connected with ASAP.
ASAP, I think I was doing some content for the Source. I went to like a private album listening with them, and we did an interview, some content. But yeah, that's pretty much about with that. It was very brief. I've seen Rocky around a lot at the different events and stuff. He's a very cool person.
Tell us about your relationship with GUMBO. Shouts out to GUMBO again.
Yeah, GUMBO was through MCMPR. Goes back to my mentors, her clients. So I helped, you know, help amplify their reach and press and media overall. But, you know, I was really on the PR side of things with them. So just promoting their campaigns, their activations, their launches, their dinners, their sponsorships with art talent and stuff like that.
You have a cool, unique sense of fashion. What inspires that?
I am just really big on individuality and being weird. I prefer to dress weird than to be normal. I don't really know where that... I just think I've always embraced being different. I think normal has always been too boring for me. So, and I just love fashion and creativity. I'm not a person that looks for labels and stuff like that. Like, I'm really big on just unique pieces. I like my clothes to be like artwork, if that makes sense.
How do you express yourself?
I express to myself through my work. I've gotten, you know, more into communication as I've gotten older, but my work has always been, you know, the way I express myself. I feel like my work has a unique spin to it. Like, you know, it's by House of Creators, especially the fashion content.
What inspires you?
What inspires me is, I guess, you know, self-expression and just, you know, the history of hip-hop culture, hip-hop lifestyle. That really inspired me. On the music side of things, my dad music taste really inspired me. I wouldn't be working in the music industry if it wasn't for my father with all the music he has exposed me to over time. So yeah, you know, just a love for art, creativity, and just lifestyle. Like, I love the lifestyle that I live. So I know, you know, I stay busy to maintain this lifestyle. This lifestyle is expensive. This lifestyle I live is very expensive. So yeah, every day I wake up, you know, I'm blessed. I live in a nice apartment. I worked very hard to get to this stage in my life. So it's just, my environment is always a reminder. You know, my childhood, you know, wasn't for it was an unfortunate situation, but it was full of love. So, you know, just, you know, I know what I came from. So that's my biggest inspo. And to see where I am today, you know, that's what fuels everything that I got going on.
What do you have to say about starting your own company versus working for someone else?
I mean, starting your own company takes a lot of discipline and a lot of endurance. You know, I'm sure the corporate world is, you know, not much different working for somebody's major company. I'm sure it's a lot of pressure and whatnot. Sure, it's not much, you know, I'm sure it's not that much. I mean, you know, it's a far more responsibility that comes into running your own company. But, you know, I have my friends that work corporate too, and I know, you know, their situation is stressful as well, you know? Yeah, it's definitely a different type of stress because you don't have a guaranteed money coming in. You have your clients for that. And, you know, it's like my day, my first of the month for me is a new start every single month. Every 30 days, I have to figure out how I'm going to make some money. You know, versus having a corporate job, you know you're going to get paid every 2 weeks. Yeah, and you're given deliverables. You're being told what you have to accomplish. You have to report to these people. You know, when you run your own business, you report to nobody. You have to create the ideas. You have to create the concepts that is going to be able that you're going to have to be able to monetize. So you got to create business ideas to pitch and sell to people to get paid. You can have long-term clients where, you know, you get in a long-term contract with them, or every 30 days, you know, the top of each month, you got to get some new clients. It's never the same thing, but it's like, honestly, you know, it's extremely stressful when you don't know where your money is coming from. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I think I'm the type of person that's built for that, because I might lose my mind if I wake up every day and being told what to do. I'm just a high functioning that it's like I need to be challenged in order to feel, or I might be numb if I'm in a more simple routine. And there you go.
What would win in a fight, a gorilla or a grizzly bear?
I think a gorilla.
Gorilla? Why so?
Well, gorilla, I feel like has more access to their legs and can climb trees and stuff, a little more quicker and durable. And I feel like they can do more lifting and body slamming if they wanted to tackle or pin somebody down. But I feel like a bear, you know, really has to rely on his claws and his mouth.
That's true.
I feel like the gorilla has more. I can't even think of the term, but the fact that a gorilla can utilize his legs and hands and climb, pick up.
Mobility.
Yes, more mobility. Yeah.
You experience any mental illness, and what do you have to say about that?
Mental illness, I think probably the most I've experienced was perfectionism. And perfectionism is not, it's just, you know, being perfect is unrealistic. It's not real. Like, I've gotten over that. I'm past that phase in my life, and I'm thankful to be past that phase in my life, because chasing perfection will drive you insane.
What is your perspective on / experience with drugs?
I mean, you know, that's something you see a lot in the music industry, as if it's, you know, it's very common in the music industry. But my perspective on it, you know, I'm all for like shrooms and, you know, 420 friendly vibes. I'm more so, you know, like the natural stuff. You know, all the other chemicals can be too much, but, you know, I just think people should you can't tell people what to do or how to live their life. I just, you know, pray people take care of themselves, and, you know, really, what more can I say? Drugs can be very detrimental, or they can enhance your creativity depending on the type of drug. I know, like, you know, shrooms are shrooms, and cannabis can actually be positive if used correctly and with discipline. But, you know, those things can also too take away from someone's productiveness. But it just depends on your perception, your mind state, and, you know, where you at, and, you know, and just having self-discipline.
What are some companies or people that have influenced you a lot?
Companies, LVMH. I like the multinational corporation aspect of it, which is the umbrella that owns Mercedes, Burberry, Louis Vuitton, Moet. You know, it's the multinational corporation, the umbrella of things. Goals for me, I'm going to become a very big umbrella for many artists and brands. But yeah, and people that I'm inspired by my grandfather. I am inspired by my mother. I'm inspired by my mentors. And I'm inspired by all these new, new generation, new kids who are really taking advantage of monetizing from the internet. Very inspired. So I'm inspired by the new generation. And I'm inspired by my elders too. Find a lot of inspiration in many different areas and spaces. You know, we are all very relatable, us as humans, and it's easy to be inspired, you know?
Where do you want to be in 5 years, career-wise?
Yeah, 5 years at the multinational corporation, where I will be in 5 years or less.
What made you want to start your own companies?
It wasn't really something, it was just I was already doing. It wasn't really something I planned out or was interested in. I just was already doing it. So just my love for art and creativity, everything falls in place. Everything fell into place effortlessly.
What are your 5 favorite albums of all time?
That I don't have. I don't really have a favorite. I barely have a favorite music artist. Prince is just Prince, because Prince is one of one. But let's see if we come with my top 5 favorite songs right now. Probably "You're the Moon" by Playboy Cardi. "Ride" by Future, Metro Boomin. I like "Finesse" by Bossman, D-Lo featuring Glorilla. I like "One of One" by Gunna. And let's say a 5th one might be "Rain" by Scott Water. I would say top 5 I'm listening to right now in the gym.
What is it like being an entrepreneur?
Being an entrepreneur is it's a freedom. It's a freedom in intense responsibility. That's the way I can describe it.
How do you balance fulfilling your vision with delivering what an audience wants?
I have played a role in creating new things in which I would expose people into something new that they didn't know they wanted, if that makes sense. No one was interviewing rappers on their style before me. Not from my era. I don't know what went on in the early 2000s or whatever, but one thing I have seen is a lot of content pieces on rapper styles, and I know I definitely was one of the first doing that in the music industry, in hip-hop culture with Style Sector that I produced at The Source and then I brought to Hot 97. But I got some new things coming that's even more fresh than that. So stay tuned, I would say.
What are your goals in life and in your career?
Yeah, my goal in life is to live a soft life, built on creativity, and to be funded by creativity forever. That's my career goals, my life goals: live a soft life with an abundance of wealth, period.
What is the meaning of life to you?
The meaning of life to me is to live life to the fullest. Life is short, and to make an effort every day to choose happiness and do what makes you happy. That's what I feel the purpose of life is. And to be of service of people.
Is there anything or anyone you want to shout out or add?
I want to shout out everyone that's ever believed in me and all those that are continuously supporting me. And, my family for being the biggest support system and molding me and creating, helping create, who I've become.
What is your message to the youth?
My message to the youth is I would definitely suggest to get to know yourself on the deepest level possible before it's too late. And I would say it's never too late, but the longer you wait to trying to understand yourself, the more work you're going to have to do, because eventually things that you dismiss and ignore is going to come back. And I hope that makes sense. But one thing I can say about my career is, you know, I did a lot of self-analysis in my late 20s, and I'm starting to meet younger people who have started self-analysis in their early 20s. And I think it actually makes you more productive. You analyze yourself early because you can get over, you know, whatever obstacles that you've been avoiding mentally. You can get over that and you can be in your most productive state, you know, more younger. I think a lot of people wait. They feel like seriousness, you know, especially emotional seriousness, is for the older age. And it's like, I feel like highly functioning, productive people, you know, experience that in a very young age. And then that's what makes them highly productive. Yes, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence at a young age, like that should be taught first. Because you can be financially stable, you can have a booming business and not be happy. And I can say I have been there before, where I've lived a great life, and I can reflect on moments where I was so blessed, but I was not happy. You know, it was no need for me to not have been happy, honestly, because the things I stressed about were very much irrelevant. I can only imagine who I would be right now if I dealt with the emotional things I dealt with in my late 20s, if I dealt with in my early 20s. Because now I am 30. So, yeah, and two, it's a great point you can actually look back and reflect. You know, now at this age, I know a lot. You know, it's you know, I feel like 20s is like you're experiencing things and you're learning as you go. I feel like at this stage where I'm at, it's like I know a lot where I can avoid, you know, issues, and I don't have to try it out.
That's a wrap. This has been Nosebag Media with.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
You good. I appreciate your time. It was a good conversation. You got anything else to add, or?
I think it's good, and I really appreciate you recognizing, you know, what I've been doing. It's you know, it's a big, massive internet with a lot of creative people. It's wonderful to, you know, be recognized amongst the millions.
Yeah, I appreciate you for taking the time too, for sure.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, take care.